Welcome to today's episode of the Heated Podcast. I'm JC, and alongside me, we have the great Mario Perez.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me.
We have two fantastic guests joining us today, don't we, Mario?
That's right, JC. With us today are two of our classmates, Kevin Gonzalez and Bozuk Basil. Guys, thanks for joining our episode for today.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Well, it's a pleasure having you two. Let's get right down to it. The season's not looking too good. We're currently in 12th place. What's going on, Kev?
Number one thing is a lot of our young talent that, throughout all of last season and especially in the playoffs, that talent that we thought was going to develop, that we thought was going to kind of kick into the next gear, has just not been performing at the level we need them to. Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, those two in particular, I think because they were so hyped up at the end of last year, with Tyler Hero's obviously his bubble playoff performance and Kendrick Nunn being one of the best rookies in the regular season.
But Hero's been all right.
He's been all right, but the thing is, especially with the way that the team is currently constructed, he needs to be better as a ball handler. Like, I feel like that is the main thing that his game is lacking. And
yeah, he's not a true point guard. I get you, yeah.
And on top of that, I don't think that he slots in well as a starter.
Yeah, I agree
so
with you on that.
The stage has just gotten too big, huh? I mean, he's starting now. He's 20 years old.
It's not that. It's just he's not a point guard. He's just not a point guard.
He's filling in, right? All the injuries.
Yeah, you can say that, or I think Spoelstra's like experimenting his lineups pretty much.
Oh, 100%. He's. I mean, we've used a ridiculous amount of starting lineups.
No, it's insane.
It's like 23 or something.
The most changed lineups in the NBA.
I don't know about the most changed. We're like.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Change, yeah. What about you, Boz?
It's definitely up there.
What about you, Boz? Any key factors during this team struggle?
I mean, we gotta look at the injuries and the lack of momentum that's impacted the season as well. The COVID protocols, and many of the other losses. Besides losing Jimmy Butler, like some games were like unexcusable.
For sure.
I think it has to do something with the front office. I can see that. They didn't re-sign, Jay Crowder.
Don't get me started with that.
He got traded. He got traded to the Suns, and they wanted to free up some cap space, but you lost like a quality 3-and-D type of player.
Crucial veteran.
Yeah, the team really.
And to correct you, Jay Crowder was not traded. He signed via free agency to the Suns.
My bad. Sorry. He signed a trade. So, I think I said it right. Sign and trade.
Right.
And also, Avery Bradley, another big free agent acquisition from the Heat. He's been dealing with COVID. Now he's out. For 3 to 4 weeks with an injury to him. He injured his right calf. I believe. I think this has to do something more with front office, as well as the pandemic. So it's like a mixture of a lot of things.
Yeah. So like what you're saying is that like the investments aren't working out for them, basically. Like when when they re-signed Dragic in the offseason, he hasn't I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but Dragic has looked old this season. He's looked really old this season. Like he hasn't been playing well.
I mean, he's in the back end of his career. He's going to be turning 30.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And he's 35,
and then Duncan hasn't been shooting the ball well.
My thing with Duncan is that opponents are really zeroing in on how to defend him.
Right.
My thing is that he was so reliant on coming off of those screens that Bam would set that you can clearly tell the teams went back, watched the tape, and they are highlighting him as
the opposition
is
putting their best defender on him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my thing is he's so deadly as a 3-point shooter. Like he's so deadly, but once you if you make him work hard to move off the ball, he doesn't have enough to his game to become a factor on every level.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't know if you read this like on Twitter or whatnot. Supposedly Duncan was working on his mid-range. Supposedly. He's been working on his mid-range and his drive to the basket.
I find that hard to believe.
I have yet to see any of that during the season.
Yeah, he's gonna need to work much harder.
Supposedly he works on that in practice, but that doesn't translate during the game, from what I've been reading. It's just he's so one-dimensional.
But my thing is, besides the occasional drive to the basket, and I mean very occasional.
No, it's like one out of 100 occasional.
Yeah, but besides that, it's his game is exclusively three.
Yeah, it's just 3-point shooting. It's just 3-point shooting. If he's not making his threes, he's a liability.
Then and that becomes the problem is that he needs to work on his defensive game as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Because
supposedly he's been looking good defensively. I have yet to see. I don't see it. Like him or Hero.
You can tell teams attack both of them.
Exactly. If you put both of them on the court defensively, they're just it's awful.
And it hasn't helped that a lot of our best defensive players have missed so much time.
Yeah, exactly.
Bradley, Jimmy missed a lot of the times you can kind of mask their defensive, struggles. And if you're playing Avery Bradley in a backcourt with Hero or Duncan, he can kind of make up for that, lack of defense.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
When you have none in Hero or none in Dragic, something like that. And we've experimented with a lot of different guard lineups, but
exactly, even KZ has gone some time too.
Yeah, and my thing with
he's been in Spo's doghouse lately.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. Sorry to interrupt, but KZ.
Go ahead.
KZ, he's not really ready for like the big minutes yet, and Precious has shown potential, but it's still not enough, to.
I think KZ has. I mean, I think he's deserved some minutes, bro. He's a very athletic defender.
Yeah, but I think it's probably going to take time for him to get those big minutes.
I think he should get freaking Olynyk's minutes. Olynyk is straight up garbage. No, I'm being honest.
My thing with Kelly is just the 3-point shot for him.
Did you not see the first game against Washington, the third quarter? He was the reason the Wizards came back into that game. Bro.
My thing is that he's another one of those players where defensively, especially on-ball defense, he's just not.
It's awful.
He's not going to play at a high level for you.
He doesn't have the footwork. He's just too slow.
Offensively, he's too inconsistent as well.
Yes.
You couple those two things together, he becomes a very big problem.
He is, yeah. Yeah, like, did you see the first game against the Wizards, third quarter? The third quarter specifically. He shot like 9 freaking threes, and he made like one of them. I'm like, bro, take it to the hole if you're not making your threes. Common sense.
Or don't shoot.
Exactly, or don't shoot. But he was still jacking them up.
But that's one of the big things that you can tell is like the Heat, like going back to, Jay Crowder, like we have a massive Jay Crowder sized hole in our team.
Exactly. Yeah.
We are lacking a true 3-and-D power forward.
Yep. They thought Avery Bradley was going to be the answer, but I love me some Jay Crowder. How about you guys?
Yeah. Well, my thing with Jay Crowder, I did too. My thing with Crowder is that he gives you,
he gives you that dog mentality.
Yeah. And best case scenario, he's going to give you good 3-point shooting and good defense. Worst case scenario, he's a good defender.
Yeah.
Even when his shots aren't falling, he's contributing, which is the problem with a lot of the players. And the way that the season has gone on this year, a lot of our players are struggling on the defensive side of the ball.
Yep. They're either struggling defensively or they're just not shooting it. Pretty much.
So how can we fill this defensive gap? It looks like the Heat are going to have a 22 to 25 million available cap space if they keep Duncan Robinson. Is that enough to fill that hole or what?
Jay, I would go get Andre Drummond, bro. Andre Drummond or PJ?
I don't know about Drummond just from a pure. What are you gonna have to give up for Drummond? Is my thing.
I mean, so I've been reading that a 2nd round pick for him.
I mean, if it's that low, 100%.
Drummond is like what, averaging 18 and 15 this season?
Yeah, no, 100% at that price, you can justify it. It just depends on what other teams are willing to give up for him.
I feel like he'll like him and Bam would work out because Bam has been working like obviously in the games on his perimeter shot, and he's been very confident in his shots. So I can see Bam playing from the outside and Drummond on the inside. I can see that working to a T.
Well, I mean that's the thing right there is. Realistically, in order for this team to get better, we're going to need to explore trades that are not necessarily superstars. Because the only big name that we can acquire would have been Beal. And it seems like Beal is
I agree with that. Because
did you see the package that they offered for Beal?
I did not.
You didn't see the package?
No.
It was Precious, Hero, Robinson, and I think a couple firsts in there. I'm not sure, but I know it was those three players. You didn't see that on Twitter?
Well,
crazy. I'm slacking. Apparently,
you didn't see it. Wow, Kevin.
I'm sorry to interrupt, guys, but
yeah.
And you're the NBA insider in here.
Some slack. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
what do you think, Boswick? What do you think?
Well, he when I think it was in 2019 he signed only a 2-year contract to stay with the team. He was not going to stay there. Oh, Bradley Beal,
right?
He was not going to stay there long. He always was going to stay there long term. But they traded John Wall, and for they swapped John Wall for Westbrook. So you already know the direction that team is heading. So but he's averaging like 33 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists per game.
Who? So who's averaging 33?
Bradley Beal. So
okay.
I think Kyle Riley should try to make a mid-season trade at the deadline. But if they're asking too much, I'd rather them just wait until his contract is up. Because his contract is up like after the season. So
my thing with Beal is just he is a certified bucket. My thing is that he doesn't just shoot; he shoots efficiently.
Yeah,
and that is something that the team desperately needs.
Yeah, I would have done that trade.
But the issue is gonna be a trade for Bradley Beal is gonna be solely dependent on if Bradley Beal wants to get out of Washington. If he's determined to fail in Washington, there's nothing that the Heat are gonna be able to do.
I feel like that's on and off because one day like Beal's happy in Washington, and then the next day he's pissed.
Yeah,
well, his team gave up like 130 points and they lost by like 35.
They'll get the occasional win, and then they'll lose to 3 terrible teams, and then he's mad again.
They won yesterday, surprisingly.
It's just they're not winning with any kind of consistency, and that roster, when you look top to bottom at what
players aren't good. It's not good.
it's not a winning team. But the issue with the Heat is we don't look good ourselves. So it's kind of difficult. That's true. It's kind of difficult to entice somebody to jump ship to a team that looks maybe marginally better this year.
Yeah, that's true.
And obviously, we've had our fair share of excuses that you can sound off, but at the end of the day, excuses are not going to get you wins.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it got us 9-14 so far.
Yeah, and one of the big things that I was actually reading up on Twitter in the last couple of days, they say that Kyle Lowry is going to become available via trade potentially at the deadline.
You saw that and not the Beal offer? Are you kidding me?
So what's this with Kyle Lowry? Hey, man. What's this Kyle Lowry deal? I mean, will he really elevate the Heat more than they are now? He's getting old.
I think he's an upgrade over Dragic because Kyle Lowry can do he can score the ball, he can rebound for a
they're practically the same age though.
Well, my thing is that realistically, you're not going to give up Dragic in a Lowry trade. So you'd have them both.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he'll be an upgrade over Dragic.
I mean, I agree. I just don't know what a package for Lowry would really look like because I don't know what kind of market he has. He's an expiring deal, so you'd think it's not going to be.
It wouldn't cost you much.
I mean, it's not going to be Beal package level.
Oh
at
no,
all.
Absolutely not.
I don't even think that he's going to command what a Victor Oladipo would.
No, and Victor's younger, so of course not.
Yeah.
Put it all in for Victor Oladipo though. Him and Jimmy Butler, oof.
Yeah, but I feel like Oladipo isn't that player that'll take you to the next level. And when I mean by next level, I mean beating Brooklyn, next level type stuff.
I mean,
I just don't see him as that. I see Beal as that, but not Oladipo.
I 100% agree that Oladipo's not going to take you to the next level. I just don't think that the next level is beating Brooklyn because personally, I don't think Brooklyn are that good. But
Brooklyn's going to have to score 140 a game to win. So, I mean, with no defense, look what we did to Giannis.
If Brooklyn could acquire a player like Andre Drummond, which speaks to what you were saying of the kind of impact that I think he can have for whatever team he goes to.
And they've been linked to him.
I think the Heat need a big man next to Bam, like Drummond.
That's what I'm saying.
But before the guard, we need one of those big guys.
They should have addressed that in the offseason. You give freaking Meyers Leonard 2 for $20 million.
And he just got injured.
Absolutely nothing but waiting.
He's out for the season
on the damn sideline.
Paid him to be a cheerleader.
Montrezl Harrell getting 2 for 19 with the Lakers. How does that make sense? Either of you, explain that to me. How does that make sense?
It doesn't.
It doesn't make sense.
It makes zero sense, and it's the most frustrating thing.
It is. It's
seeing the level of production that a guy like Montrezl Harrell is giving the Lakers right now. It's just,
oh my god! Just talking about Meyers Leonard gets me so irritated.
And the problem is that we have a massive rebounding problem. And
yes,
I'm
glad you brought that up, Kevin. We are 30th in rebounding. We are 30th.
You can't have that money locked up into a big man that is not going to play.
In shot blocking. We have absolutely no rim protection.
Get Andre Drummond.
Thank you, Boswick. Thank you. You have spoken. You put Andre Drummond there, he will fix the rebounding, and we all know he'll fix the shot blocking.
Oh, 100% as a rim protector, he's going to improve your team.
Exactly. Because other than Bam, we have no shot block. We have no rim protector.
None whatsoever. Nothing down there. And Bam's 6'9". It's not like he's 7 feet either.
Bam is crazy athletic. It's insane.
Yeah, that has definitely been one of the positive takeaways right there.
Yeah, it's him.
From this season. He's expanded his game. He's shooting more efficiently. Yeah. He's playing hard on both ends. Guaranteed all-star. He's a guaranteed all-star.
The only thing I would like for Bam to do a little bit more is to be more assertive offensively. Just a little bit more. Because I feel like when Jimmy's on the floor, I feel like he defers more to Jimmy.
Yeah.
Because you don't remember those games where Jimmy had to take off because of protocols and whatnot. He was absolutely assertive.
Oh yeah, Bam was playing like a dog.
Especially those 2 games against Brooklyn, he was absolutely on a mission. Just flat out assertiveness.
30-point games too, right?
Yes, Jay. 30-point games. That's I'm looking for that Bam. Even when Jimmy's in the lineup, he needs to be more assertive.
Yeah, he needs to go full superstar mode as many times as he can.
I just feel like he's too passive sometimes.
Yeah, and the big thing is those complementary pieces. That's where we're really lacking.
Yeah, we are.
When you look at the elite teams in the league, look at a team right now like the Lakers. Everyone's talking about LeBron, but AD right now is having a little bit of a down year, and they're doing perfectly fine because they're getting so much production.
They got Schroeder, freaking Gasol's giving them something.
And I feel like that's definitely what we need. If we want to take it to the elite teams in the league, we're going to need to be constructed like an elite team. And even just in the East, forget out West.
For sure.
That's a completely different animal.
I don't even think,
I mean, Philadelphia is looking.
No, I was really
good
with what Philly did all this. Yeah, they addressed their shooting really, really well in the offseason.
Got a better coach.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Doc, of course, but they got Curry. They got Shake Milton coming off their bench. They got Korkmaz. So they're doing fine.
They've definitely gotten better. And obviously Brooklyn now is just, they're such an unpredictable team, but so much firepower offensively.
Yeah, that's the thing. They just need to have some sort of defensive identity to a certain extent.
talking about Brooklyn, I want to know what you guys think of the fact that James Harden could have potentially been in a Heat jersey, and we didn't pull the trigger on that. Obviously, it would have needed to have been a ridiculous package, but I do think that he would have definitely helped because he is a good ball handler, can shoot,
sure.
and he is that superstar that I feel the team really needs.
Yeah.
I mean, they say that Harden.
Kev, I want to apologize to you. The Harden trade was the one I was talking about, not the Beal trade.
See, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I don't miss.
Hey, but at least I'm apologizing to you in a live podcast.
Yep.
Because I was wrong. It was Harden.
I respect it. It
was Harden, not Beal. It was the Harden package. It was Precious, Duncan, Tyler, and I think a couple first-round picks for Harden. It was that package, not for Beal. I'm sorry.
Would you have taken that package, Mario?
I would have taken that package because you put Harden, Bam, Butler, and then you can find some other dudes there to round up your roster. I mean, I think like those three. They would have been set, bro.
That's a deadly big three, especially because all three of those guys complement each other in such a good way. Because Jimmy's going to bring that elite. Jimmy's going to bring that elite defense. Harden is going to be your primary scorer there, and Bam is just going to do everything. He can do both. He can be a presence on the interior, and on top of that, he's been expanding that game to now add that mid-range. So it just gives you a completely different dynamic.
Yeah, and you can have Kelly O coming off your bench, Iggy, Kendrick Nunn. I mean, remember in the playoffs, it's your best 8. Like it's 8 deep, pretty much.
And that was the frustrating thing on my part, especially like going on Twitter and reading what a lot of Heat fans were saying during like the heat of those the peak of all of those Harden negotiations. Was the idea that Heat fans were really pushing back on a Harden trade because they didn't want to sacrifice our depth.
They're so high on Hero and Robinson, bro.
They didn't want to sacrifice our depth.
I feel like that's what Riley's doing. He's so invested into those two young guys, bro, because they're homegrown.
My thing is, they might pay off. But my thing is, when are they going to hit that elite level?
Yeah. I agree. It might take them by the fourth year.
By the time that they hit that level, the guys that are currently, your Jimmys, your Gorons, the people that are going to play such a big role might not be at that level anymore.
They're going to age. Yeah, Jimmy's how, like 31?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, not everyone is LeBron. Like, not everyone is going to be giving you an MVP season,
of course,
no matter how old he gets. Like, age is a real thing to other players.
That's true. Jay, let me get your take on this.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. It looks like youth is filling up most of our starting lineup. I think Hero and Duncan should be coming off the bench. We should have some veterans, some all-stars.
I think one of them should be starting. You can't put both of them there at the same time because they're such a liability on defense, bro. It's not even funny. Like they can't guard it to save their lives.
Because I'd replace Hero with Oladipo any day, Bradley Beal.
For sure. If you're talking about like a player through trade, then absolutely.
I'd love to keep Hero. Roster. I'm with with Pat Riley on this. Tyler Hero, I wouldn't want to trade him either. I mean, have you seen him coming off the bench is practically almost an all-star.
You sound like every damn Heat fan right now that doesn't want to give a freaking Hero for a superstar.
You need others. You need others, especially on the bench. Like you said, the playoffs, you need at least 8 guys who can go in there, and he could be one of those 8 guys. No,
I mean you have a point, but I mean if I had the opportunity to get a Brad Beal and all I had to do was give up Tyler Hero, I would do it in an absolute heartbeat.
Yep, 100%. And my thing is, in this league, you have to give up talent to get a superstar like that. Yes.
I probably would have only done it for James Harden, man, because he's
Jay.
MVP,
you have
right?
not. Have you seen Bradley Beal, dude?
I have, but is he MVP like that?
Come on, I know you see your highlights. That dude averages 35 a game.
Okay,
bro.
he is a sharpshooter, probably the best one. So
he is a bucket getter.
But James
can get
Harden,
you a bucket right now.
MVP candidate though. James Harden. I would have probably done the James Harden deal, but
I mean,
Bradley
you can't go wrong with either or. That's the thing. And the thing is, you have to give a hero to get one of those players.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, my thing is that both. It's no question. Both of those guys are those superstars. Like those are the superstar level players that you want to get. And the problem with the Heat is, I think the Heat had it so much in their head that they were going to get Giannis that once that domino fell, it all went up in flames.
I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I've told my friends this on social media and whatnot. I wasn't in favor of getting Giannis because Bam didn't have a perimeter game. And now this year, what I've seen from Bam and his perimeter game, those two would have been an absolute match made in heaven, bro.
Well, and especially one of the big things that I loved about Giannis playing a role here was defensively. Giannis is the best help defender. He is the best help defender in the NBA. From the way how fast he is, how quickly he can cover ground on the court. He's an elite shot blocker when it comes to help defense. On-ball defense, he lacks a little bit, and you see it with the Bucks. A lot of the times, late game, Chris Middleton has to pick up the opposition's best player. Yeah. So you could still preserve that element. Bam is going to be the primary defender on your best player, but Giannis as that help defender would have just really it would have really helped our interior defense, our shot blocking.
That's true.
And my thing is that Giannis is just one of those players. Like, how often are you going to have a chance to get a top 5 player in the league like that? Like,
I don't know about you guys, but every time I see Giannis shoot, I just turn away.
It's hideous.
It's just awful.
So he needs to work on, to get over the top.
I mean, but Boswick, the sad part is that he's been working on it, and it's just it just hasn't worked out.
I mean, it takes time.
It's just such hideous form. Bro.
Even his free throws are atrocious.
Yes, thank you, Jay. I was just gonna say that. Even his free throws look awful. It's just bad.
If he just gains a little 15-foot jumper, dude, he could be unstoppable.
Yeah. I mean, that I agree with you.
Kevin Durant, was like a sniper, like.
No, but don't compare Giannis and KD with their jump shots.
Yeah, I mean, it's just their games are completely different.
Apples and bananas right there.
My thing with Giannis is just you can tell, like, it's disappointing to see from a perspective of a Heat fan, because I think we would have been able to develop him in a way that the Bucks can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I doubt Fulcher would have told Giannis to shoot 15 times a game. I strongly doubt that. He probably would have told Giannis to put his butt in the paint and do work. Pretty much.
My thing is that looking at the slow progression of what they did with Bam, he's been consistently adding a new thing every year. Exactly, he's consistently been getting better, and I think that the Heat have no problem asking that of their superstars. I don't think that just because if they would have been able to acquire a guy like Giannis or Harden or Beal, I think that they have high expectations for all of their players, and they would have made it so that those guys could continue to develop.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point there.
Look at Bam. He got a jump shot in 1 year.
Yeah, because Bam was working on it in the offseason, and he actually uses it in the damn game, unlike Duncan.
He looked ugly. A year ago.
I mean, but
shooting that,
it was encouraging to see that that he wanted to at least attempt those shots. But he really put in the work in the offseason. That's what paid off for him. It's not like Duncan, where supposedly he worked on it in the offseason, and then you don't see it not one time during a game in the season. That's what's frustrating.
Which he has a lot of opportunities to shoot that mid-range. I don't know why he's not.
Exactly.
I don't know why he's not just pulling up.
You see Duncan pulling up 30 feet over two dudes. Come on, thinking he's freaking Reggie Miller.
And they're going out to him too. Like Kevin was saying,
I know.
They've got the best defenders.
Like I told KG, they're putting their best perimeter defender on Duncan to freaking chase him through screens and whatnot.
And they have a plan the whole game too. They have multiple guys on the bench.
Duncan. Exactly. The book is already out on Duncan.
Because they know if he's off, our chances of winning they go below 50%, dramatically. Yeah. If he's not on target.
And it goes way below if we're not rebounding.
What should we resign Duncan? I mean, he's a restricted free agent.
The thing is, I am super happy you brought up that question. The thing is, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't mind at all if we let Duncan walk because he's a one-dimensional player.
I disagree with that just because I think when you look at a lot of teams, you need that sniper. Now, the question is going to be what price is he going to come at? But even look at the Nets. They have Joe Harris, and Joe Harris, he's pretty one-dimensional.
But Joe Harris has a mid-range. He shoots the three, and he's a better defender than Duncan.
I agree with that, but Duncan he's that. Very rarely you're going to be able to get a sniper at that level. Like that kind of shooting is hard to replicate from other guys. But the big thing, I mean, it's no question, the team has definite holes. So the one thing that I want to ask you guys, the deadline is coming up. We're getting to that midseason point, and the team definitely needs to be fixed in some way. So what is the one realistic trade target? If you had to defend one trade for the Heat to make, what is it?
I mean, I wouldn't mind Andre Drummond. I brought it up too many times on here. I wouldn't mind him or PJ Tucker. I don't know about you guys.
I'm with Mario. I think Andre Drummond, it might not be as impactful as we think because it's not the Andre Drummond from 5 years ago, but
I mean, Jay, he's averaging 18 and 15. I don't know what Andre Drummond from 5 years ago you want.
That's the 20 and 17 good. Andre Drummond,
Well, when he was averaging, 20 and 20? I don't think he averaged 20 and 20. I think he was averaging those same numbers.
So what, you think he'll require $25 million a year?
He is a beast, bro.
Does he want max? Does he want 25 a year?
No. He's not gonna want the max. He's gonna want like a decent sized contract. Did Cleveland already give him the damn max? Or no?
Well, I think the contract just carried over, didn't it?
It carried over.
Cleveland? Oh, it carried over?
Pretty sure because
he opted into that final year, that deal.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. Okay.
Yeah, so he'd be coming up now.
What are you saying, Jay? You're saying if the Heat should give him a deal?
Because what if he costs too much? Like, what if he's asking like all-star money, and then we're stuck with him?
How much is all-star money? Because
right now he's making $22 million a year, but I mean, that's a little too much. But he's putting up some good numbers. I think, if you're right, if he's bringing 4 blocks a game or whatever he's doing, I mean, and the 20 and 15, we wanted that from Whiteside.
He's like 18 and 15, bro.
We wanted that from Whiteside, and we didn't get it. So
don't get me started with Whiteside.
Well, my thing with Drummond, I'm glad that you guys brought up Whiteside because that is my reluctance with Andre Drummond.
Do we have to talk about this?
We definitely do. My thing is, my reluctance with Andre Drummond is there's no question that Andre Drummond brings defense. He brings rebounding. His offensive game is very limited. I'm just saying that Andre Drummond gives me shades of Hassan Whiteside.
No, he doesn't. That's JaVale McGee.
Shades.
He definitely. He's not full Whiteside, but he definitely gives me.
You want a Hassan Whiteside look? Like, go look at JaVale McGee.
He's clunky like Whiteside.
Look at JaVale McGee.
Yeah, and his offensive game is limited. Now I'm not saying that it's a bad trade if you can get him at a cheap price.
No, but
I agree with
he got money.
A cheaper price for Drummond, really. All he has is for offense. Come on, offensive rebounding and what? A jump hook with his left hand only.
I mean, all Drummond has to do is freaking get rebounds, finish lobs, and finish under the paint. And then
I agree. I think that he definitely could be a big help to the team. But the same way that Shaq likes to go after Rudy Gobert, I'm gonna go after Andre Drummond. It's no question he's gonna give you defense, he's gonna give you rebounding, but he can't really produce offensively on a consistent level, besides just finishing at the rim. And I think I think that right there is the issue. Are
there any other big men? I mean, he looks like the prime big man available, at least now.
As far as big men go, I don't think that there is another target quite like him. One of the things that interests me, obviously depending on the price that you could swing it, Oladipo and PJ Tucker both.
Yeah, I brought up PJ
like Tucker, man. Defensive prowess.
He reminds me of Jay Crowder.
Well, my thing with PJ, 100%. He's a sniper from the corner. One of the best corner three-point shooters in the league.
I think he led the league like 2 years ago in corner threes or last year.
I think last year. Yeah.
Insane.
So he's dominant from those corner threes. And the problem that you saw last year in Houston was because they didn't really have a big man at all.
Yeah.
They were using him as a center, and you could tell that he was struggling defensively. If you bring in a PJ Tucker and actually have him guarding the people that he's supposed to be guarding,
the perimeter,
exactly. Not a
2, 3s, and 4s,
not a 7-footer.
Exactly. Like he's a good rebounder for his size, man. He's a good rebounder for his size.
He needs more guys to rebound because I feel like rebounding is a want-to skill. And we don't have enough of those guys.
And rebounding wins games. Let's be honest. I mean,
yes, Jay. Does anybody here know Pat Riley's 4 famous words? Rebounding wins you rings.
There you go.
I mean, it's no question.
And the Heat don't have any of that. They don't have any guys that want to rebound. The only guys that I can count with my 3 fingers that want to rebound is Bam, Jimmy, and occasionally Hero. Occasionally. Other than that.
For his size, Hero's going to give you decent rebounding.
He's not bad for like a guard. He's not bad at rebounding.
But look at our centers.
We need more of that.
Olynyk, 7-footer, doesn't rebound.
Leonard, Olynyk is parked at the 3-point line.
We have 7-footers that don't rebound. What's the deal?
Yeah, friggin', you want to talk about Meyers Leonard? You want to talk about guys that don't want to rebound? Go to him.
I mean, Meyers Leonard can't. To defend Meyers Leonard, he can't play right now.
He's injured. And he's out for the season. Oh my God, Whiteside again.
He's done for the year. So the only thing that could come of that is you get the injured player exemption potentially from Meyers that you could use to sign someone.
Right.
So that could be a help.
I don't know about you guys, but every time I saw the Heat injury report and I would see Meyers Leonard's name on it, I would just yell out to my phone, "Who cares?"
He doesn't even
cares if he's out.
He doesn't even impact the game that much,
bro. Have you heard a Heat game and you hear somebody barking from the Heat sidelines, and it's Meyers Leonard barking out defensive instructions as if he contributes to the damn team.
I mean, that is his contribution. His contribution is
he's waving his
character.
Pom-poms. Let's go.
His contribution is that culture, is that character. But at the end of the day, it's only going to get you so far. You need to be able to actually play. You need to actually be able to play. My thing is that if you're signing a vet min to do that, respect. But supposedly at that price,
supposedly Jimmy had a say in re-signing him, and if he did, I want to low-key strangle him because we could have used that extra $20 million on Montrezl Harrell, or we could have chipped in to bring back Jay Crowder. Just saying. I'm just saying.
My thing with Jay is
just a waste of $20 million.
I mean, Jay got his money. It's just the Heat at that time were so singularly focused on keeping our cap open for Giannis that's what happens. It all backfires there, and now we're in the situation where we are desperately looking for what is the best trade we can make. Yeah, we're trying to look for the best trade that we can make at the cheapest possible price. And I think that's going to be the trade that we eventually do make. We're not going to get that superstar player, I don't think. But it's going to be which one of those mid-tier guys? Which one of those Lowrys, those Oladipos?
You don't want to fantasize about Nikola Jokic in a few years?
Man,
Nikola Jokic and Bam. Oh, I'm already stargazing. Oh my goodness!
I love the Joker, but I don't know if he's
JC. I love me.
I don't know if he's willing to leave.
Nah, he's definitely not.
What JC? Why would he not leave Denver to come to Miami? Why the hell not?
Because Denver's a better team.
Yeah, Denver, they got some good, young guys.
No, but Denver's never going to be in the conversation to beat the Lakers.
I mean,
they're close. I think they're missing a piece.
But straight up, Denver is the best cutting team in the league. The best cutting team.
True.
That's why Denver has so much to build on.
Yeah, but because they've been inconsistent, like they've been, they were inconsistent in the beginning of the season. They were, they were surging. They were like the fifth.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like the fourth seed, and then now they're back to like the eighth seed. So it's like they're struggling with like third quarter, fourth quarter, consistency.
Yeah, they've lost like 3 in a row, something like that. Like I know they lost yesterday. Freaking Milwaukee hung up 126 on them, which is crazy. All right, let me ask you guys this: Do you still have the Heat making the playoffs after this
100%? Just because
what seed?
I'm gonna actually be. I don't know. I wouldn't say this is bold, but I'm gonna say we slot in exactly where we were last year, 5th seed.
Okay, yeah,
just because I think that is how
bold. That's being realistic.
I agree.
And I like realistic people.
My thing is, I just don't see looking at the landscape of the East. I don't see a lot of those Eastern Conference teams playing consistent enough where the Heat fall out of the playoffs.
Exactly, yeah.
And I don't see the team being able to surge and make some kind of ridiculous run in the back half of the year to jump up into one of those top seeds. I think we slot in same exact spot, and for our sake, hope that the 4th seed is the Indiana Pacers again.
Oh yeah, for sure. They pretty much have the same roster like last year, except they didn't have Sabonis in the bubble.
Yeah.
I'm with you guys. I think the Heat will, from the 5th, I think they might move down a couple spots. You don't think maybe 6th or 7th? It all depends.
Nah, Jay, I think they're better than like the Raptors, like those teams. I mean, right now, I think Philly can beat them in a playoff series right now. Because Philly's not a bad team, bro.
Because the big three is, we got Philly in first, right? We got the Bucks and Brooklyn.
We got Philly, Milwaukee, the Nets, the Celtics.
Never forget about the Celtics. If I'm being honest, the Celtics are probably the most dangerous opponent.
Please.
Yeah. How can I forget the Celtics? Did you guys see the last time they played the Celtics? Freaking 6 foot. I don't know how. Like I think Pritchard is 6'1".
Yeah,
gets a game-winning tip-in just
which
because Tyler Hero was ball watching instead of setting up his box out. So shout out to Hero.
Yeah, it speaks volumes about our rebounding issues.
Yeah, 30th in the league, KG, 30th in the league, and I feel like that's been an ongoing issue for like the past 3 years. It's been an ongoing issue.
Yeah, that's always a Heat thing.
That.
Yeah, we've always been a team that struggles to really get consistent rebounding.
Yeah, even in the Big 3 era, we kind of struggled in that department too. Like we weren't the best rebounding team. We just had a lot of firepower offensively.
Yeah, which is what we're kind of lacking right now.
Which, speaking of the rebounding, I think a team that can sneak up on us, the Atlanta Hawks, man. Yes. They got Clint Capella for nothing from the Rockets.
They have size, man.
And they just got Rondo from the Lakers for free. Dude,
I mean, he has been playing well. So, I mean, he's just there to, like...
He's playoff Rondo.
He's just there to, like, provide leadership to the younger players. Which, I mean, I think it's worked because have you seen DeAndre Hunter, bro? He hasn't been bad.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of their breakout stars, right? I mean,
yes,
Trae Young is an all-star. I mean,
you got Trae Young, you got Capella, you got Collins.
Man, what I do for Miami to get a Clint Capella player like?
Oh my God! Or even freaking John Collins.
John Collins is one of those players that could potentially become available via trade.
But he's more of a forward, no? Than a center, or
no? Yeah, I mean, he can play the 5, but like he's more of a like right now they have him as a stretch 4 because of Capella. Capella is their 5, so they're asking Collins to be the stretch 4. So he's shooting more. It's
great to see the NBA going back to like these teams are getting big centers and they have a stretch 4. They're not just playing like the Rockets did a couple years ago.
Well, I mean that doesn't work. The Rockets took that to a different level
because people thought that was the new NBA. Oh, we're gonna have PJ Tucker at center and like Draymond Green.
Yeah, right. I don't know what D'Antoni was on when he was doing that.
That was crazy. He's 6'5", playing center.
Yeah. And if they face off like a team with size, the Lakers, then they're gonna get demolished. Which was
look who just won the title too. Like Anthony Davis,
exactly.
7-footer,
the Lakers
dominant,
have size. Exactly my point.
Dominant. And, I mean, I think again, this game has always been about size.
Why they had Morris, Rondo would get in there as well, rebounding. I mean, like I said in this podcast, rebounding is a want-to skill. You got to want to rebound.
You're right. One of the biggest things when I'm watching too is like whenever Jimmy's taking shots or Hero, there's no contest on the rebounds. It's just Bam surrounded by 4 players.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, nobody on this team wants to rebound, and that's why we're 30th in this league in rebounding, and it's so frustrating, honestly. And the thing is, we don't get rebounds at like the key junction of the game. Like it's that possession where you need that rebound, and we don't get it. It's just so frustrating.
Which we saw
that in the turnovers. Did you guys know that we're first in turnovers given up, bro? We're giving up like 17 turnovers a game.
Our starting 5, they're all averaging like 2-point-something turnovers a game.
It's ridiculous.
Insane.
Like, it's ridiculous. They don't value the ball, bro.
Insane. Our starting 5, each one almost averaging 3 turnovers a game.
That's insane, bro.
You can't have a starting 5 turning the ball over 3 times a game and you're going to go to the finals.
That's not going to win you a chip, bro. If you don't rebound and you turn the ball over, that's not going to get you a chip. That's going to get you a nice seat in your couch watching the playoffs.
Oh my goodness.
No,
yeah. It's the truth.
It's the truth.
Sometimes the truth hurts.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be the thing,
also,
man.
And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like that at times we get way too perimeter oriented. Like we just chug up all these threes as if we're like the Eastern Conference version of the Rockets, bro. Like it's insane. Like let me give you an example. Like the first game against the Wizards. I like how I bring up that exact game again. Freaking. The first half, bro, we were dominating the Wizards in the paint. Absolute dominated them in the paint. And then when halftime comes, we're just taking all these jump shots, all these threes. We got Olynyk just jacking up 9 threes that quarter. I'm like, why? Why are you changing the game plan? Go with what works. It's ridiculous. And then that's why the Wizards. That's how the Wizards got into the game and they won. Because they it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, I mean that right there is the way to sum up what we've seen so far in the season. It's been frustrating. Obviously has there been some excuses that you can make for the team? Can you cut them some slack in certain areas?
No,
yes.
I don't want to blame injuries.
But
I feel like injuries is like a lame excuse.
It's just when you want to compete for a title, you gotta be better than this.
You got depth on your roster.
I think once our full roster is back, I think we're going to look better than we do now.
JC.
Oh, come on. A couple of weeks. Give them,
JC, our full roster blew out freaking double-digitly to the Hornets.
Okay, one game.
Come on.
But still, like, Dragic is out now again. And come on, it's not like Butler's been back, 4 or 5 months. He got back recently, Our best player came back a couple weeks ago. Give it some time, I think. I think we should just give it some time.
No, JC, I'm a very impatient person.
All right, you're still gonna buy the season tickets, all right?
Yeah, you're right. Knowing me, I would do those exact things. And then what scares me is their upcoming West Coast trip after tonight's game against the Knicks, because I feel like that West Coast trip is gonna determine like the direction of their season, because they go to Houston, they go to Utah. They face the Clippers. They go to Golden State. They play the Kings.
Don't get me started on the Kings. The Kings is.
Oh my God! It's about damn time they figured that out, bro.
And then right after that, it's the Lakers.
Is the Lakers, and then I believe after the Lakers is OKC, right? That's the only gimme I'll give them is OKC.
And even then, Oklahoma City's 10-13.
No, but we blew them out when they came over here, so I'm not that concerned.
I mean, I would agree. It's just, that West Coast trip is going to potentially be brutal. But I think I agree with you. That West Coast trip is going to determine what we do as far as making a move at the deadline. If we can if we can rattle off some wins and get some consistency going, maybe you're not looking to make a huge move.
I feel like the game that will turn this like the direction of the season is the game against Utah, because Utah has won 15 out of their 15 out of their last 17 games, bro. They've been playing well.
I mean, Utah, they're motivated by the.
They play so well as a unit, bro. I have League Pass, and that's the first thing I watch is the Jazz, because they play so well as a team. It's not even funny.
I mean, they're motivated by Shaquille O'Neal always trying to destroy them for no reason.
No. He's trying to destroy Gobert.
I don't know. He was going after Donovan Mitchell. One of those games.
I know about that. I've been hearing all the Gobert chatter.
Yeah, so it's just it's one of those things where, like, especially that West Coast road trip is just it's brutal. Looking at the quality teams.
How many
that
games
you're playing.
is that like 8 games for a West Coast trip?
Rockets, Jazz, Clippers, Warriors, Kings, Lakers, Thunder.
Yeah.
So
that's like 7-8 games. That's insane for a West Coast trip.
Yeah, that's gonna be real brutal.
Well, we're looking forward to, the run of upcoming games, especially this West Coast trip. Hopefully the Miami Heat pull through, and
I'll take a 500 trip, bro. Anything below 500 I'm pissed.
Honestly, as long as we stay in the playoff conversation, it's
Oh yeah, for sure, Jay. Like we're gonna if we don't make the playoffs, bro, I'm gonna go AWOL. But at the same time, I feel like if we don't make the playoffs, that'll be a blessing in disguise, because that'll force Pat Riley to make a move. Like that is not going to sit.
But your players depreciate in value. Your players depreciate in value then as well, which is that's the problem. You need to understand how to evaluate your talent while also doing good enough, especially because we're not a team that keeps our draft picks like that.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Well, except Precious.
Yeah. But that's why.
Which he might be on the market, who knows?
Yeah, his name has been thrown out there in the Harden trade.
I like him. He
needs to get bigger. He needs to get stronger in the upper body.
He looks like first year Bam, which
yeah, he does.
Looking at what Bam grew into, love it. But obviously he has a lot of deficiencies. When he gets that rebound, I feel like he makes sloppy passes to the outlets.
He doesn't finish strong either.
Yeah, and he's a bad perimeter defender. Interior defending, he's getting better as he plays more minutes.
Yeah, it's true.
But
hopefully we see some improvements.
So I'll give him that. I mean, yeah, for sure, we're gonna see improvements, especially with this Heat coaching staff. They'll get the best out of Precious. I'm not worried about that.
Well, the future is up for grabs. We'll see how the Heat pull through this Western run. They got to face the King and his Lakers, so hopefully they can stick through it and show the world that they deserve to be in the finals like they were last year. Thanks, Mario.
I don't know about
thanks,
that,
Mario,
JC,
for thanks, Mario, for tagging along with me. And thanks to Kevin and Boswick. Thanks to Kevin and Boswick for joining us for another episode. And
thank you for having me.
You guys are great.
Thanks for having me.
You guys were great, and we'll be with you next week. And thanks for joining us on the Heated Podcast.